Hey guys, I am Ibigandscary. I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 replay, this time featuring MetaKnight. In the top right corner playing our red Protoss, and in the bottom left, real quick, is BearJewSlava playing our blue Protoss. I say real quick because MetaKnight is sending out a super early probe. It was one of the starting probes just to scout, I guess, or rather to throw down a proxy pylon and to do some cheese. I suspect heavily that this is cheese. Yeah. I actually have my brothers out getting Chinese food for us right now, so I'm freaking starving. So I said cheese twice, and my mind instantly went to pizza and provolone. Throwing down that pylon. I don't know. What if this was a Forge Fast expand? Maybe he just wants to get... The pylon's not in the right place to deny the Nexus. I don't think. Maybe it is. I don't know. I have a feeling MetaKnight knows what he's doing. I hope this is a proxy 2-gate, because that can be so intimidating. Especially if your opponent throws down the wrong structure, and there goes the first gateway. So yes, it is. This is going to be great. I feel very sorry for BearJew because this is, the worst build to go up against. But it looks like he's got a good head on his shoulder. He's checking the corners of his expansion for any cheese, and he's going to notice that first little peep from the probe. He doesn't scout the 2-gate on the low ground, and very clever by MetaKnight sending his probe up into the mineral line just to draw the fire from the scouting probe. But now BearJew sends his probe down, and he sees the double gateway underway. He knows that he is in trouble. Canceling that gas right away, throwing down a forge. Good reaction by BearJew. That forge is going to be very helpful because as soon as it gets up, photon cannons can be thrown down. But that first zealot is well underway. Probe count is heavily in BearJew's favor, and with that comes the economic lead. But that economy doesn't do anything whenever you're going to have twice as many zealots in your main base. I think BearJew has a good build for scrambling for this. I think that the fact that he got that gateway up first, that it wasn't a Forge Fast expand, really helps him. Especially because that photon cannon is already working, and it's going to be double pyloned, basically. This zealot's not going to be able to do much, and even if it does get into the probe line, it's not going to be able to deny mining from anywhere except for these two sections of minerals. 3 zealots now pushing in. The second zealot is still very far away from finishing for BearJew, but that photon cannon just now is going to finish, and I think BearJew is going to start sacrificing probes in order to protect that photon cannon as it begins to rain down fire. I suspect that BearJew is also going to throw a pylon somewhere on the high ground and then throw down a couple of photon cannons down by the gateways. Cybernetics core, a proxy cybernetics core. You couldn't build it over here by the main base. I guess he didn't have his pylon done, but a proxy cybernetics core. I guess he really wants to get out some stalkers so that he can kite these zealots, because going into a fair fight with 3-on-3 really doesn't favor MetaKnight, because MetaKnight does not have the economy to continually make zealots out of his 2-gate. Cybernetics core also starting for BearJew as he gets another photon cannon. MetaKnight is now very in trouble. BearJew has successfully held off the cheese, so it's basically, will MetaKnight double down on the cheese? Which, yeah, he has. He's built that cybernetics core. He can't really catch up in economy. Basically, MetaKnight is in a lot of trouble. 4 zealots now pushing in. 2 more pop out at just the right moment for MetaKnight. Got to be very careful not to get us around. This is basically Zergling Micro at 1/2 speed. Getting the weakened zealot into the back so that his shields can recharge with the fresh ones up front. But 4-on-5 with the first stalker started on both sides of things. 2 stalkers coming out for BearJew, or for MetaKnight. BearJew only with the 1, but BearJew can always fall back to his 3 photon cannons if he needs to. And he will. Those stalkers will be able to target down probably the forge as well as the pylon without taking any damage from the photon cannon. But the number of stalkers out really needs to quickly take care of all the zealots that BearJew has. Here comes a big engagement in range of one of the photon cannons, which is not what Meta wants. But the single stalker that BearJew has really got to survive. It's being targeted down by those stalkers. Finally, another engagement now this time away from the photon cannon. Photon cannon being dropped just to the north of the forge. A lot of the zealots have gone down for MetaKnight. or for BearJew. A lot of damage has been taken for MetaKnight in his zealots. His army is actually looking rather ragtag, but he's producing two more. Oh no, two more stalkers are coming out of the 2 gateways that BearJew has managed to sneak in. Nothing's being produced out of MetaKnight's gateways, but that's because Warp Gate is just now finishing. He's going to start warping in units instead. Stalker on Stalker, Warp Gate just now finishing. Once these Stalkers come out, we'll see the 3 gate transform into a Warp Gate tech, but a very small army for BearJew right now. He's really holding on to the skin of his teeth. This army could really take out that single photon cannon on the right side, and all of a sudden MetaKnight has free access to the right side of BearJew's base. It's just barely staying ahead, but 2 more Stalkers being warped in on the low ground coming in. This Stalker number is reaching a critical mass. I'm surprised MetaKnight hasn't pushed down to the right side before that Twilight Council. I guess he's looking for Blink to make his units more cost effective for BearJew. Back in the main base for MetaKnight, he's doubled up on the gas production, but not much else. These Stalkers are now being used to take advantage of the fact that they can fire on pylons while only taking 1 or 2 hits from the photon cannons. All the Zealots have gone down for BearJew. He's only got a couple of Stalkers left. Got to be very cost effective with these units. That pylon is going to go down and unpower this photon cannon. Looks like a preemptive pylon being placed as BearJew frantically tries to keep MetaKnight away from that pylon just for a couple more seconds. It goes down. That photon cannon is unpowered, but nothing else is. Not the worst thing in the world for him. Dark Shrine being built by BearJew. Oh man, if that gets out, it's one of the longest units, longest structures being built, 100 seconds. But that's what that Twilight Council was for. Really nice play by BearJew. If he can get some DTs out, he can deal with all of these Stalkers. And he's definitely got the money, definitely got the gas, but these Stalkers pushing in, you saw how quickly they can deal death blow to that pylon. So BearJew's in a tight spot right now. He's not keeping his units alive. He's spending a lot of his money on tech, which will be great for him in the long run, but in the short run, he's in a tight spot. MetaKnight has done a really good job at salvaging this cheese. I thought that he was completely done when he threw down that Cybernetics core, but really solid play. I have a feeling he's done this before. DT Shrine, 8 seconds away. These Stalkers are really got to make something happen right now, because with that first DT warping in, we're going to see, oh man, he misplaced a Stalker. I guess it was built in between these two, which in the end is probably pretty good against Zealots, but not very good against anything else. That DT is actually going off to say hello to all of the probes back at home. That photon cannon gets targeted down. Another DT being warped in on the low ground, or in the main, and is finally engaging the Stalkers, and at the same time doing damage to them while the Stalkers are also doing damage. So it's difficult to tell exactly where that DT is. They are pulling back. There is no forge on the ground. Another DT successfully unpowers all of the structures. At the same time, this DT is making it into the main base. A dual robotics facility being built in the main, but there's no observers that are going to be coming out of that anytime soon. Probes being pulled because he thought the probes were being attacked, but instead he's unpowering the robotics facility. At the same time, DTs are pushing back MetaKnight all the way back home. He's now supply blocked. He is in a ridiculous amount of trouble. MetaKnight's going to have to tap out. There's no place for him to run, even if these pylons finish. There's no way once those DTs arrive that he'll be able to keep that robotics facility powered long enough for any observers to be built. And now with all the rest of the DTs in the main base, he's going to be killing them all. I have a feeling he's typing something right now. Finally, the pylons finish at the same time the robotics facilities do, but they go down almost instantly to the hail of Dark Templars. Hey, being good-mannered there. Good job, MetaKnight. It's so tempting to be BM whenever your cheese fails, but I feel like he did a really good job. Really, really strong work down here, salvaging it, making it worthwhile. Incredible salvaging skills by BearJew, seeing what was going on, adapting to it, overcoming it. A nice play with the counter cheese by the DT. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Post me a comment or send me a game if you want me to cast it one way or another. I will see you guys later. I am Big and Scary.